you should feel genuinely worried about wasting a single second, because you can't let the winners keep dunking on you. I've spoken at length about how the world is getting harder and harder. This is easy to observe. Everybody knows it. There are people out there in the world who are going to try hard to change that dynamic because they don't believe they can ever be rich. There are people who are going to sit and say, I don't want the rich to get richer and the poor to get poorer because I'm poor. And there's other people who sit and say, I like this challenge. I like that the game is rigged because now if I get rich, I get richer. Winners think I have no problem with the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer because I'm going to be one of the rich ones. Losers think, no, we need to spread it all out. If you accept the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer, then you need to be prepared to do whatever it takes to win the game. Just like a video game. The greater the difficulty, the larger the high score at the end. I mean, you should try every day anyway, but let's assume you're the kind of person who can't try every day because you don't have that grit and consistency. If you're not going to pull your finger out now and finally try in these few days, when are you going to try? When are better chances going to come? Because they're actually right in front of you. This is a huge, important period in your life when it comes to your success and your finances. If you're not going to try now, when are you going to try? My belief system is very, very simple. It's based on results, right? It's based on competency. The things I believe and the way I view the world and the mindset I've adopted has been created to be the most effective version of a mindset which is going to allow me to perform. It's like the software you install within yourself. I've installed an operating system which allows me to perform at the absolute highest levels. It doesn't matter whether they're trying to cancel me. It doesn't matter whether people are trying to kill me. It doesn't matter when, even the cancellation, right? I don't give a shit about losing my social media, but when you start getting lied about in the media en masse and your family's being threatened and news reporters are calling your ex-girlfriends, offering them bribes to lie about you, and they're trying to get you in serious criminal trouble for things you haven't done, that's a huge level of stress. These people are genuinely fucking demonic. And the mindset I have to deal with all these things is a software I've installed that allows me to deal with huge amounts of pressure, whether it's fighting or anything else. I've always had a very pressure-filled life. And that's why I think the way I think, because it allows me to perform the way I perform. And my performance is obviously doing me very, very well in life. So I would never adopt any other type of mindset. How successful you are in life isn't usually linked to IQ. And it's certainly linked to energy levels. But one of the most important things that's going to determine how successful you are in life is how much stress you can adopt. The more stress you can adopt, the more problems you're solving. 99% of the people watching this stream would collapse under 5% of the daily shit I deal with every single fucking day. You guys have been here. I'm either at the desk, at a meeting, on the phone, dealing with millions and millions of dollars and bullshit that it never ends. And the more stress you can adopt, the more successful you're going to be. And I'm just that guy. And I've been that guy my whole life. I'm that guy that everyone who knows me, all my family, every woman I know, they all come to me with their problems. They throw their shit on top of my shit. I'm just a problem solver. It's just who I've always been. And if you want to be that person, you have to have a certain mindset. And that's what my mindset is. This is what's interesting. It's not even about truth. Not so much of me looking and going, what's true? It's more about me believing in what I need to believe to be as successful as possible. I'm cool under pressure because I've literally had people try and hurt me for a large period of my life. I still have people trying to hurt me today. And it's just a normal operating procedure. It is how it is. I'm indefatigable. I do not give up. I do not get tired. I do not quit. That's what they want. That's what the enemy wants from me. They want to try and win a war of attrition. They want to wear me down and hope I quit and give up and go, oh, I'm not getting any traction now. I don't have YouTube. This is going to be hard, etc. I am not that guy. I'm the guy who keeps going. And if you're truly indefatigable in life and perspicacious, that's my favorite saying, the one I say all the time, unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. It's absolutely and utterly true. If you pay attention to the things that are happening around you and you do not quit, you will be a dangerous opponent in any realm of human endeavor. It doesn't matter what you try and do. Cancel me. Fucking cancel me. Cancel me again. It ain't going to change anything. I'm a man who lives true to God and says what he means and means what he says. And I know the things I say are good for society and good for the world. The reason people listen to me is because they like what I say and they know that I'm telling the truth. And I'm going to continue to do that. And there's nothing anybody can fucking do about it. Because in every single battle, there has to be somebody who charges at the front and perhaps takes the most flack. And that's what I'm doing. And everyone's like, why is Tate involved in this battle? Why is he taking so much shit? Tate has all this money. He could just go on a yacht with a bunch of bitches and run around with a bunch of cars and just have fun. The reason I'm doing this is because I believe this war is coming to absolutely every single one of us. You have two choices as a man. You either realize the truth about reality and understand how the matrix is suppressing you and affecting your mind. You either wake up and you are now in battle against the matrix itself, or you accept the programming. When you accept the programming, the battle doesn't end because now you're in a battle against your own mind. If you believe this they want you to believe, you're unhappy, you're depressed, you're miserable. So you're either fighting against yourself inside of your own mind, living in some semi-depressed state, sitting on the internet talking complete bullshit in these liberal hate mobs, or you understand the truth about what's happening and you're in the war against the matrix. You can't escape this fight. I'm in this fight. You're in this fight. We're all in this fight. Yeah. The war is here. When the battle turns up at your front door, you can't just cower. Someone has to fight. So yeah, maybe I'm at the front, but I'm also in a unique position to handle that. One, because of the stress. Second, because of the finances. Third, because I'm hard to hurt. So I feel like it's my duty to God. I'm not going to sit here and tell people, listen, accept the bullshit they want you to believe, stay at home semi-depressed, take your Adderall, be a little dork, and then the matrix is going to be happy with you, because there's no happiness in that. You're just going to end up in a battle with your own fucking head. You're going to have to fight. To all the men watching this, you are going to fight somebody at some point, either the matrix or your fucking self. Choose. I refuse to turn on myself. Me and every single thing inside of me is on the same team. And when the enemy appears, then it's on. If it's on, it's on. That's the game. And that's what the old emperors wanted. The emperors of today want the same thing. They want eunuchs. They want you to go to work and they want you to pay your taxes, but they don't want you to think for yourself or have any balls or have any true ambition or open your mind or resist slave mind programming. They don't want any of that. And I know that I could disappear and just down a hole of hedonism. I could disappear into a black hole of degeneracy and not even fight this war. A lot of people don't understand that I don't need to be doing the shit I'm doing. But I also understand that my unique positioning means that it would be disingenuous for me as an individual of honor and integrity to not stand up and fight when I know that I'm in a position to fight when most people can't. Most people can't say this shit I say because they're going to lose their fucking jobs. Yep. I've just been canceled. I still have hundreds of millions of dollars. They can't hurt me on that level. So I feel like I have a genuine duty to do it. And the only alternative at my level of life is endless hedonism. That's the only alternative. And I think a lot of people, especially before they're successful, like the idea of an endless hedonistic life. And let me explain something to the world. Certain things are black holes. Money is a black hole to a degree. If you're going to say, I need money to be happy, it goes up forever. You're going to need a new number every day. You're never going to be happy. You need a higher purpose and a higher vision. And my purpose is to wake people up and make them feel good about themselves. I don't want the whole entire population of the West eunuched and cut. I don't think that's beneficial for the world. So I'm trying to do the absolute opposite. They talk about men's mental health and caring about how men feel and how men think. The fact that I have such a large following, you guys have such a large following, shows that our mindset is really not that unique. There's a lot of people who agree with us. And that means that we deserve a voice. And if they truly cared about men's mental health, they'd be trying to propagate us out there in the world and saying, look, these guys have a point of view, and maybe people align with their point of view. And that's what they would do if they're genuinely fair and non-tyrannical. But they don't care about men's mental health. They don't give a shit about you. Men, you need to understand that you are the backbone of the slave force. You always have been. You're the men who are going to die in a war. You're the men who are going to build the roads, dig the trenches. Nobody gives a how you feel about it. You're the backbone of the slave force, and they don't give a shit about you doing anything other than using your time and using your energy to advance their civilizations. But the second you have a point of view, you're not allowed to stand up and say it. No, shut the fuck up. Go dig the trench again. Then go home to your sexless wife and your kids who don't care about you. It's truly amazing where we talk about the differences between men and women, but one of the largest differences is the societal view of how a man and woman are. The society looks at men and just thinks of us as workhorses. That's what we are. We always have been. And we still are to this day. And the workhorse isn't allowed to talk. Chicks are allowed to talk. We talk about chicks' mental health all day long. Yeah, poor chicks. And I'm not saying that women don't face struggles, but I'm not a woman. I'm a man. So I can talk about the struggles that men face because those are the struggles that I've lived through. I know that. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the struggles of women. There's plenty of women who already do that. But the second a man stands up and says, no, this is how certain men feel. This is how you fix it. This is how you deal with it. Because that's what I've been saying all along. I've been saying it's very difficult as life as a man. You don't get to just get to. You got to be a G. You got to get out there and you got to make yourself. You got to do it. It's not easy. It's very, very hard. Mm-hmm. I've been telling the truth about these things and they just want to shut me up. They want their eunuchs. They don't want people to strap their balls back on. Life is not easy. And if you're out here searching for comfort, for happiness, for an easy ride, then you've already lost. You don't get to be respected, admired, or remembered if all you do is exist. There are only two kinds of men in this world. The men who carve their names into history, the conquerors, the kings, the warriors. And then there are the others, the ones whose lives amount to nothing. They die and the world forgets they even existed. See, every single man on this planet has to suffer. You are going to suffer whether you like it or not. The question is, will your suffering make you stronger or will it break you? You can suffer now, put in the work, take the pain, fight through the battles, or you can suffer later, broke, forgotten, with nothing to your name but regret. You need to step up. You need to fight. You need to become someone who matters. Stop thinking happiness is the goal. Happiness is a lie. Do you think warriors marching into battle were happy? Do you think billionaires grinding for years to build their empires were happy every single day? But they were fulfilled. They had a mission. They had a purpose. Your happiness should come from the fact that you are respected, that when you walk into a room, people feel your presence, that when your woman looks at you, she knows no other man can compare. That's real happiness. And right now, most of you are failing. You're failing yourself, you're failing your future, and you're failing your potential. You were not born to be average. You were not born to be invisible. But the only way to rise above the millions of men who are living meaningless lives is to put in the work. And don't think for a second that you can coast by and expect to magically end up successful. You either take it or you don't get it at all. You were raised to believe life would just work out for you. Your parents put food in the fridge and you thought it would always be like that. You thought things would just fall into place. Nothing is going to come to you unless you go out and take it. You need to be the kind of man who refuses to lose. Look at the greatest fighters, the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest conquerors. Where did they come from? The bottom. They had to fight for everything. They weren't handed success on a silver platter. They bled for it. You have access to knowledge, to money, to people who can guide you, and yet you sit around complaining. You act like life is unfair. You act like you're a victim. You are not a victim. You are weak. Bravery is a muscle, and most of you haven't exercised it in years. When was the last time you made a bold move? You must design your life in a way that forces you to grow. Right now, decide. Are you going to be just another nobody, or are you going to be someone who matters? If you do not leave a mark on this world, you never existed. You have a duty to your ancestors, to your bloodline, to your name. You have a duty to God. You were given life. Now prove you deserve it. No one is going to hand you power. No one is going to knock on your door and say, hey, here's the life you dreamed of. If you want it, you have to go and take it. Most of you are too soft to succeed. You think success is something that just happens to people. You see a guy driving a Lamborghini and you think, oh, he got lucky. You think they stumbled into their success? Let me tell you something. The only thing they stumbled into was hard work and relentlessness. And if you don't act now, you will wake up one day as a failure. If your younger self saw you today, would he respect you? Would he admire you? Or would he be disgusted? Would he see a warrior, a man who takes what he wants? Or would he see a coward who let the world dictate his fate? Every single moment of your life, you are making a choice to stand up and fight, or a choice to sit down and submit. And the world is ruthless. It doesn't care about your feelings. The world only respects power, strength, dominance. Listen, success is simple. You want respect? Earn it. You want power? Take it. You want success? Grind for it. But most of you won't do it. You know why? Because you love comfort too much. The world is a battlefield. Every single day is a war. You're either fighting to take what's yours or you're waiting to be devoured.
Listen, every second you waste is another second you're not rich, not free, not powerful. The clock doesn't stop, and neither do the people who are outworking you right now. You want to sit around, scroll, complain, feel sorry for yourself. Fine, but don't cry when life hands you nothing. Because success isn't waiting, it's earned. Get up, stop wasting time, and start building the life you claim you want. You're not rich yet, but if you put in the work, you can be. The choice is yours. Hustle or stay broke.